What up, y'all? This is the Man Cave Podcast with your boy M3L and my main man, 100 grand D Brown, and my
You
good
already
brother G
know.
Money. What's good,
Yes,
fellas?
sir. What's going on?
Ain't nothing, man. What's up with y'all?
Yo,
Chilling,
life
chilling,
good.
chilling.
You know, we got to come together. First, let's give a little explanation of what this whole podcast is all about. We
Facts.
call it the
Yes,
Man
sir.
Cave. We figure it's a platform for the fellas to come together and just to discuss things that guys are going through. Guys like to talk about and stuff of that nature. Like it's an all guys show, no females allowed. We here to do us. This is where we be us. You feel what I'm saying? Without worried about being in the doghouse.
Right, right, right. Platform we kind of talk how we want to talk.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Um, so first off, I want to get into this verses between the LOX and Dip Set. Like we all from the city. And I'm sure us as hip hop heads, we all know how big it was for the city.
Right.
Um, what y'all think of the outcome?
It was what I said it was going to be. It was. I said it from the beginning. It was going to be a wash. You know what I'm saying? And I don't get it twisted. I love this set too.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite group is the LOX. G Money could vouch for that. Always been. But from the beginning, I said, yo, this is going to be a wash. I just didn't see where Dipset was going to be able to hold the LOX. I just didn't see it. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely agree. What you think, G?
I just didn't see it.
I mean, I thought the same thing, man. I thought that was Mike Tyson and Marvis Frazier. It was just a beat down, man. Like it was a beat down from you know what? When they started it off with the FU joint,
Mm-hmm.
I knew where it was gonna go.
The
Like you
first
knew
song of
they
the We Are the Streets album too.
yeah. Like they didn't you could tell that they didn't come to play. You know what I mean? And just the whole setup with the DJ, like they looked like everything was on point. You know what I mean? Like they rehearsed this. Like, you know what I mean? Like they didn't come to lose. They didn't come to lose. And I'm gonna tell you something, man. Jadakiss, wow,
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
son.
his coming out
Jadakiss
wow,
is
party. It almost felt
Jadakiss
like.
look
wow.
he look God level on that joint. I ain't gonna lie. It
Yeah.
was like, yo, what?
Yo, let me tell y'all something. Y'all saw the last dragon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Do you remember when like, when Shogun lifted his head out the water
He got
and
the
he said,
glow.
"Who's the master?"
Who's the
And he
master?
had
Yeah.
that glow. Yo, that was Jadakiss, man. Yo, Jadakiss had that glow,
Yeah,
son. That
he
Yeah,
was
he
on.
did.
I felt like
Jadakiss is on another level, man. Like he left Earth, son. He left Earth.
for Kiss to be the veteran that he was, this felt like his coming out party.
It
He did.
did.
This
He
felt like
It
his
did.
coming
did.
out party. I was just talking with my lady about it earlier. Like I done watched it about 8 to 9 times.
Yeah, I watched it
Me
a few
too.
times
I
myself.
Me
watched it a
too.
few times,
Oh,
and
I got that joint on Twitter, matter of fact. I didn't even realize.
yeah, I gotta give him
Yeah,
one of those LOX hats.
me
Um,
Yeah, I
too.
want one of them too.
Yeah.
but the most epic part of the whole thing for me when I was like, yo, like this is Kiss moment was when Cam did Welcome to New York City, and then Kiss followed back with New York.
Yeah.
Like the building, like when Chris went into New York, like it was like he made Welcome to New York sound like the downtown version of what New York is. And his
Right.
version
True.
was like what New York really is. And the building just like they embraced it so much. I was like, wow. And I've been on Kiss since the first time I heard him.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and I felt like he was like family. I was just really proud of what he meant to me. I felt like he was family, bro. Like
That's Kiss the People's Champ.
I was just really proud to
Yeah.
see him have that moment, bro. Like, and I was even it was even more doper to see Sheik and Styles lay in the cut and let him have that moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was a
Yeah.
real and I knew Kiss was on it, and I'm like, yo, and what I realized too is like Kiss really loved the LOX because he rapped everybody's verse.
Yeah.
Everybody's verse. Everybody's hype.
Everybody's
He was the
verse.
lead man. Everybody's hype man.
He rapped everybody's verse. And Dipset just seemed like what we known Dipset to be, like the beefing. They didn't seem like a camaraderie to me.
They wasn't in sync.
You know what I'm saying? Like even when they first came out, when the LOX did the FU joint and they tasted back with I'm Ready, like for like 3 songs, I was like, yo, where's Cam?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what the ill part is, what a lot of people don't know? He actually left.
Mm-hmm.
He left.
But he was going to leave. He actually left. I thought he was going to leave.
He left. He left and something happened and it made him come back. But you know what was so crazy? Like I said, it was like a boxing match because when he came back, it was like they was trying to fight, but they couldn't. You know what I mean? Like it was already over. You know what I mean? It was already over. So, you know, I think whether he left, I think it would have been better if he'd have just left. Because it was going to be a beatdown anyway.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have been a good look for him.
Yeah, Cam had to be there because at the end of the day, when you think about Dipset, you think about Cam.
He had.
Yeah, you do.
He the man. Like you know, Joel's the lead. You know what I mean?
But you know what though? You know what that showed me?
I didn't disrespect Joel like that. I like Joel. That was not inappropriate. I didn't mean to say it like that. like your Joel could go. You know what I mean? I ain't mean it like that.
Yo, Joel's had on every outfit in his closet, B.
Yeah, he's clothes off every season of the year.
To me, it seemed like Joel's might have been a little too high.
Word.
I think so.
He looked, man.
Yeah, it looked like
he was maybe a little too high. Like,
yeah,
but you know what that showed me though? It showed me the difference between a group and a family. The LOX is a family. You know what I mean? Like those are brothers. You know what I mean? You saw the 20 some odd years that they've been doing this for the time, like when they was rolling with, you know, Bad Boy to the, you know, the Rough Riders, the D Block. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you got to see everything. And I think there's a picture that's circulating on the internet with the 3 of them. And, you know, they hugged up. It looked almost like a basketball huddle. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked like a basketball huddle. You know what I mean? And it's like, yo, this shows who they are, man. Like, you know, that at that point, when they was on stage, it was Jadakiss, Chica Styles. But when you saw that picture, it was Jason, Sean, and David. And I think that's what separates them. You know, like I told D Brown, I said, you know what, man? I said for a long time, I always debated, like, you know, the greatest group is, you know, EPMD or maybe Outkast or maybe Run DMC, you know, but the LOX got to be thrown in there, man. They like, we have to start saying they're the greatest group ever because they may not have like the platinum albums that some of these guys have or the catalog, but when you see just what they do, man, it's like, it's so different. It's different, man. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, if you don't love them dudes, man, then something is wrong. Something is wrong with you as a person.
And you know what I'm saying to the Adam, what you said to G? What you would, a lot of what you saw was the difference between doing a show and doing a concert.
Yes.
With Dipset, they're used to doing shows.
Right.
Which is not quite the same as doing a concert, like in front of a stadium of people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you what I was thinking about. What was throwing me off was how many people that was saying like the LOX can't compete with Dipset. And I was like, I couldn't understand it. I'm like, what? Like I said, I knew it was
underdogs. They had them as underdogs in this fight.
Look, I knew it was gonna be a wash from the beginning. Because I think the way people think is like this, like, and it's almost like manipulating your own mind in a sense. Like, okay, Dipset had a movement, a Dipset movement, right? They had their own Dipset run. Right. Now the LOX didn't necessarily have a LOX movement, but they was a part of 2 real big movements, though.
Yes.
That's being Bad Boys. That's Big. That's Lil Kim. That's Junior Mafia. That's Total. That's 112. That's Mace.
Right.
These are pretty much platinum selling artists. Then you got Rough Riders. that's DMX. That changed the game. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Eve, and you know what I mean. And the Rough Riders, the whole Yonkers movement, and it was you know what I mean. It was these are two major, the whole motorcycle thing. These are two real big movements they were a part of. So I think that people kind of got lost in the sense that the LOX didn't really have their own personal movement,
right?
Because it could make it seem like, oh, they can't compete with Dip Set hits. And I'm like, how many hits does Dip Set have over the LOX though?
Well, you know what it is. I think. Sorry about that, Mel. Not to cut you off.
Go ahead.
You know what it is. I think sometimes what resonates in the club
that too
doesn't resonate on stage.
That too.
You understand? Dipset has a lot of stuff. And shout out to Dipset, man. Shout out to Dipset. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love Dipset.
Like we joke about Jewels and stuff like that, but like you said, they did. They had a movement, man. Like Harlem was on their back, bro. You know what I mean? We can say people say what they want, but Dipset had a movement. And like I said, but I just think that the club hits they had and the radio hits they had, it didn't resonate on stage.
But that's because they added a lot of it was their own performance too, G. See, you gotta realize, and my part again too, you gotta realize the LOX has had no drop-offs. Like they didn't break up and all that. They didn't do nothing. They've been for 20 plus years, they've been consistent. Touring, shows, doing, helping out with each other's projects. They got their own studio together. So they're in tune with each other as people, like outside of just on stage. So what it looked like to me was the LOX really did their stage show.
Yeah, that's it.
Go ahead,
they
man.
never missed a step. Now, just to piggyback off what y'all two was saying, and even what you said, Grover, even what you said, G, about some of them songs from the club don't resonate to a concert. But I always tell people when it comes to these hip hop verses, the big songs don't matter. And I say that because a big song is really the budget behind it.
Right. That's facts.
You know what I'm saying? To where like a lot of the LOX songs are big songs, but they're big just in hip hop.
Right.
True.
Like you can hear niggas done started something in a club and it'll be lit.
Yeah.
You can hear FU in a club and it'll be lit, but those are not songs you can hear on the radio every day.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Now, with the whole thing, my only concern with the LOX was I hope they play the right songs.
Yeah.
Because it is what it is. Their biggest songs or their most popular songs are features.
Right.
They got some of their own personal joints that are okay, that are rock out, that are bangers. But the most popular song are features. Now, I feel like they smoked them and they still had another 10, 15, maybe 20
15 joints in the clip, bro.
They didn't even go into. Because I wanted them to do the Get At Me Dog freestyle.
I'm gonna add on to that too.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you could tell when you losing and you losing with what Dipset was coming back. Instead of them just vibing out and staying to their game plan, they started throwing all type of nonsense out there. Y'all want to snap. Y'all the best peas, rice, and gravy y'all ever seen. Play something from y'all album. Y'all don't got nothing for the ladies. Now y'all just reaching. Now y'all making excuses.
But you know what makes that so dangerous though? When you understand the thing about features, right? That when you and like the person who did it the best to me was Big. Like when he got on Total's joint and he made that song his. Even though it's Total's song.
That's a fact.
But when you listen to that song, after Big verse, you really don't care about it too much more.
Right.
Yeah, that's like, yeah.
And that's what the LOX have done with a lot of features, where they get on features and it becomes their song.
Right.
Think about
that's
it.
Facts.
The Benjamins are not the Benjamins without the LOX. You know what I mean?
Those colossal size Picasso. You think about Chic verse, you think about Benjamin.
Thank you. When you listen to songs like when you listen to like Live from New
saying?
York, the Angie Martinez joint, right? But as crazy as Beanie and Cool G Rap was, Jada and Styles going back and forth just did something to that song, man. So it's like they'll get on tracks and the track becomes there. So the features don't bother me too much because they kill
But
every.
that's a part of their catalog. It's like
Right.
That's a part. If it's a catalog thing, it don't matter whose song it is if you want it.
You own it.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
It's like that's what I was trying to tell folks. It don't matter. It's still a part of your catalog, but it's a lot of the separation between the Dipset and the LOX is this too, is that you got to remember Dipset have classic songs, legendary songs. The LOX, on the other hand, has legendary songs, legendary freestyles, legendary verses.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the whole thing, they understood crowd control.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And they didn't have to say nothing. The crowd is gonna spit the verse for them.
Yeah.
Now peep this, D. I don't know if y'all heard the interview Sheik did with
Yeah, I seen it.
with Sway.
I heard it rather.
When he was like, and I was hoping for it. I'm telling my girl when they went into Sheik verse and niggas done started son, I said, yo, they need to bring Mace out.
I wanted that too.
I said,
you girls on that. I don't have you girls on that though.
I said, yo, they need to bring Mace out just because Mace don't rock with them. And he said that was the plan originally.
Yeah.
He said the original plan was to bring Mace out for niggas that started something and to bring Diddy out for Benjamins. But he was like, and he was right on point with it because he said if we would have brought them out and squashed them the way we squashed them, they would have said we had to bring out this person and that person. Now, going back to what you said earlier, D, I was telling my girl this as we was watching, like the Benjamins, like that's Skate Key days.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it is.
When Sheik verse came on in Skate Key, I'm simply trying to like what? Like I don't think, and I don't know why people sleep on Sheik.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know, because he's, you know what it is though? Because Sheik is standing next to two dudes that's so crazy with the pen. And don't get it twisted, Sheik is crazy with the pen too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He really is. He don't get, like you said, he don't get the credit that he should. But Sheik pen is crazy too.
Facts.
You know what I mean? But Sheik also likes to play the back.
Yeah.
He don't really do the whole, upfront thing and all that. He don't really do that. That's never been his personality. He said that even when Styles and Kiss were doing their solo projects, he said that he was cool with the LOX stuff.
Yeah.
He said it was the streets that was saying like, yo, Luch, when you coming out with yours? You know what I mean? So he was cool with how it was. And like it kind of to build on what you said too, the way that they Styles and Sheik played the back and allowed Kiss to control the tempo of the whole verses. You know what I'm saying? And yo, that shit was over from the beginning, man. I'm gonna keep it real. Like
first song.
From the first song, and for them to start off and see, you gotta realize, I don't care what Dipset got in the arsenal, that niggas just started something all about the Benjamins, banned from TV. They don't got nothing for them tracks. 24 Hours to Live. Bro, they have nothing for them tracks.
Songs, yo.
Not in their arsenal. They don't have nothing for them songs.
Now peep this, D. And you're gonna bug on this too, G, because you be from that cloth. I had one of my mans tell me that Cameron's Suck It or Not was better than niggas than started something.
I'm not even gonna acknowledge that right there.
Now, I said, bro, you probably first heard niggas that started something when you heard DMX album. I said, you probably don't even understand how crazy that song had the streets when nobody even knew who these dudes was. When I first heard that song, I thought Mace was part of the LOX.
Word.
Me too.
I thought Mace was part of the LOX. And that was the time when they was you was still trying to figure out who's who. Because I even had a point in time where Jada and Mace was confusing me where I would think one was the other.
It was similar.
Yeah. So
Especially with
I'm like,
Mason Jones' hard stuff, it was similar.
I'm like, bro, like you don't like they got some joints that they take you back to an era that where hip hop is not there no more. Like, and it I couldn't even explain to him in words. Like you just had to, like those are joints like you just had to be in living them times
Yeah,
to get
word,
that
word.
feeling, bro. Like,
And I'm gonna tell you something else too, Mel. To add on to that, to show you how deep that song is, right? Styles verse.
mm-hmm.
I bought a pallet for my thugs with Oriental rugs, green bag of drugs, get whacked for the love. 20 niggas bad at me, still couldn't shatter me. I'm only getting up, splitting up your anatomy. That's the true story. That actually really happened.
Wow.
Yeah, he talked about that in one of the LOX interviews a couple years ago. He said that was true. He was like, and Kiss was like, yo, when Styles came to the crib, they said he was so swole up that everybody started crying. That's how deep his group goes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He said that's how. So, and when you got against the squad where they cool now, they not cool no more. Then by the time they come back together, they might have a reunion tour, reunion album. Then they don't do it. It's just the inconsistency in the group. Now, don't get me wrong, we still love Dip Set.
Yeah.
But when you gonna go up against somebody like the LOX, these dudes that they are
the LOX was
cohesive.
ever beefing at some point, D, you never heard about it.
You never heard it.
That was it was at odds at any point in time. Like you never heard nobody come out on those songs, dissing them. Like you never heard them calling each other out. And
there was never no subliminal.
Like you like it was just real, like in house, whatever it was, they deal with it within each other like it's supposed to go.
That's really, you see a lot of it with, respectfully, that's that Yonkers stuff, man. Like, they whole little Yonkers Rough Rider family. They all like that. They still look at RPD X. They still look at X for he the man. Right. They still look at that. They still look at Mary like that's the queen right there. It's still that same, they still tight like that. The whole, not even just the LOX, but the whole Rough Rider movement. They still tight. And that, you know what I mean? That has to mean something.
A lot.
You know what I think? I think why people thought Dipset had a chance, and I think it goes back to Cam, because we got to remember, Cam is from that cloth. He's from that same cloth as the LOX.
That's a fact. He said that.
Like, we can't forget that, Children of the Corn.
Yeah, he said that.
Cam was
came
with
up a little while after y'all.
Right. Cam was with, you know what I mean? Cam was with Big. Big put Cam on. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like, and I think those are some of the things that I think why people did give them a chance, because, like I said, we got to remember, man, like, Cam was right there with Mace. You know what I mean? Like, unsigned Cam. So Cam has a lineage, man, that's crazy too. You know what I mean?
That's the true fact.
Like, when you
look
all
at damn near all of his songs.
Right. When you look at Cam's legacy, Cam has a legacy, man, that's, that's crazy. It's crazy. And, like, because you got to remember, Confessions of Fire, man, was a dope album.
That was my joint.
I'm glad you said
I
what
can
you
tell
said,
you
bro.
where I was at when I heard Confessions of Fire, man.
Now,
like,
bro, what you saying, what you just said, right? Because you're 100% correct, bro. Like, Cam is from that cloth. But what hurt Cam was he didn't dig into that bag.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
He didn't give you none of that SDE.
No. Well, I'll be real. I didn't want SDE because.
Nah, you had to. What about those joints like That's Me?
Confessions of Fire and stuff like that. I think that would have been. Because you know what it was? I think, like, if he would have gave us the Confessions of Fire, the Children of the Corn, because you got to remember, there was stuff, man, that him, Mason, Bloodshed, rest in peace, Bloodshed, that they had that was so crazy. Because you got to remember, they had street bangers too. Cam had street bangers that that, you know what I mean, that are legendary. And like you said, Mel, he just didn't dig in that bag. He didn't go in that bag. And sometimes those hits don't resonate, man, the way it should. I give you an example. When you look at the Ludacris and Nelly verses, right? There's not too many artists that got more hits than Nelly. But those hits did not hit the way they should.
But there's a reason for that, though. I mean, I understand what you're saying with that, not to really refute it, but there's a reason for that. That was a different type of situation, just because you got to remember when Verzuz started, it was really about the verse, not really the song like that.
Right? Yeah, that's true.
So if you want to take a Nelly song on stage along with a Ludacris song on stage, like the way we saw with the LOX and Dip Set, you probably have I'm not saying who will win, but you have a different outcome, or you have a different kind of vibe there. Where remember, they was playing it in their crib at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and it was about the verse, you know, not necessarily the song as much.
See, I don't know, because when the verses,
that's what it was.
But you know,
it wasn't the song; it was the verses.
But
because those.
Go ahead,
bro.
No,
go ahead.
I feel like it go back to what we were saying earlier, like big songs or that get the sales that are considered the big songs. Those is really,
right.
That's really the budget.
Right.
Because you get a lot of those songs that might be selling a whole lot and could be considered big songs that like people don't really like that.
Right.
Especially like for a versus crowd. Like the versus crowd is the streets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So some of those big records may not hit the way you might expect them to hit.
Yeah, right. Too, like I said, it goes back to what you're listening, but it goes back to what you're listening for. Right. Like I'm just breaking down the way the verses was.
Right.
It was really more about the actual verse you sitting. And that's why I knew going in that battle, in that verses with Nelly and Luda, Nelly can't compete with Luda like that. Now we're gonna do song for song. That's the hook, everything. Mm-hmm. It may be a little different.
Right.
But
if you do verse to verse,
played the song. That was the thing. They played
but
the
it was
song.
about I understand it, but it was about the actual verse.
That's what I say. Well, I thought he lost it. Well, I thought he lost the verse. No, he lost, but where I think in my opinion, where he lost the verses, that was because I thought it was song placement.
That's true. I thought it was song. Yeah,
I thought it was song placement.
That's big too.
His song placement, I thought his song placement was wrong. And even
that's true.
And even with Dip Set, I think Dip Set would have still lost.
Yeah.
But I think their song placement
it should have been closer.
Were wrong. Right. It could have been a little closer because their song placements were wrong. Like I said, if they're going to come out with, FU, Cam could have came out with the Children of the Corn joint. Because you got to remember, Cam's verse on that was ill. It was ill. And you got to think, even Cam could have brought Mace out.
Yeah, he could have.
You know what I mean? Cam could have brought Mace out.
It wouldn't hit like if the LOX could have brought him out, though.
It would have been crazy, especially for niggas that started something.
But right. You know what,
G? It would have been different.
But you know what, G? I'm going to keep it real. I don't really think that the LOX had, I think they knew the song they was going to play, yeah. But I don't think they had a particular placement.
Yo.
That's the connection with the DJ.
Yo,
right.
Yo,
we're in
DJ technology.
Yes, we're in Dip Set. They was like using like a DAC joint.
Yeah.
That's why they, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the reason why that's the reason why they was doing it with the words.
Shout out to DJ technology.
Yes,
he played a
technician, right?
He played a major
technician.
He played a major role in that.
Yeah.
I think that's what I said now. I think that the LOX really did their stage show.
Yo,
like I don't think they had we're gonna play this song number 1, this song number 2, this song number 5. So I don't think it was like that.
Now D, I'm good. Yo, I was just talking about this earlier with my lady, right? I feel that they playlist was the FU song first. That's all they had in the stash.
Oh yeah, I think that was their first. I think they knew
That was
that.
the first joint. Everything after that, I feel was a counter to whatever Dipset played, even though they went first.
Right.
They was so on point with the DJ that it was a point in time where they didn't even know what they was rocking with. It was like a beat would come on and he'd be like, yo, what we doing next, Tech?
Yeah.
And it just, let's go back to what you were saying, D, where they constantly on the road because everything is fresh to them because they're outperforming these songs regularly. So it ain't like Dipset was forgetting the words to some of these songs.
They was forgetting the words, bro.
Jimmy falling off stage.
To most of their songs, they was forgetting the words.
They was stumbling and all kind of stuff. Crazy.
Yo, when Styles P did the freestyle with just a beat with no words and knew everything, and what was the dopest part to me was Kiss was just right next to him, line for line, like spitting the verses like they was his.
I don't even think it was a flop.
That kind of chemistry, bro, you can't create that. Like that
you can't create that.
That gotta be homegrown, bro. Like
but you know what though?
Man, I don't even think that Dipset was fly on stage to keep it real.
Nah, but
I don't even think the gig was even right.
They was up there doing clown shit when they did Paul and
you know what I'm saying? Like they was doing Jimmy up there with all leather joint on, like they ain't all shit.
It was doing. That's why the part I loved them. Oh my god, it was so many dope moments in this battle.
Yeah.
Like, it was so many. Like even when they did Dope Money, and it was like made a lot of money. Look, bummy and what? Cause money ain't shit. Respect is everything. Like I was like, bro, like y'all not ready for this. And he was like, and it was like, now let's see who you know fucking with Sheik, Lou, Jada, Can, SP. And Kiss was like, none of these niggas. That's on Mama Love. Like
I love Kiss's freestyle.
The energy, yo, bro.
Oh my
God. Up there, that's just.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Like that was disrespectful, yo.
That stole the show.
Yeah.
When he did that, that stole the show. All praises, all hammers, all razors. That stole the show.
Hot drop, he cop them in all flavors.
In all flavors. Like, yo.
Kiss do that and Kiss does that in their stage show.
Yes.
That was it, man. That was it.
Yes.
They went up there, they was prepared, they knew what to do.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Shout out to Diddy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Diddy.
Shout
out to Diddy. Yeah. Because you gotta understand, that man knows how to rock a show. Puff is probably top 3 in the game in doing that. And that's right behind.
Now this, Grove.
Dougie Fresh is going to be number 1. But like, Puff is right there, man.
You got Busta Rhymes too.
Busta Rhymes, Heavy
He's
D.
up there.
Yo,
Hev was up there.
Crazy show.
You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this. Was y'all paying attention to the comments as y'all was watching?
Most definitely.
Yeah,
now,
of course. Diddy was all in those comments.
All in those comments. Now,
Diddy was all in those comments.
When they did Benjamin's, and remember they had the little issue with Jewels and going back and forth because it's like those.
Like ain't no Kiss wrote the verse. Come on, dog.
Diddy was in the comments saying Jada Kiss wrote that verse for me.
Word.
And he said, and I appreciate him for that. I was like, boom, that sells the cake.
Nigga Jewels will be a liability up there on stage.
But
you know what this was though, honestly? You know what this was for us? And even for the younger generation, but even for like older cats that wasn't there, this was the Fresh Fest tour. This was the Up in Smoke tour. Mm-hmm. This was those classic hip hop moments. This was Kool Moe Dee and Busy B. This was the BDP, MC Shan beef. Like, this is one of those things that gets stamped, that me and D Brown like to say, this is a stop the world moment. Yeah. You know what I mean? This was that moment that, I like that. The world stopped, B, for like a few minutes. The world stopped. You know what I mean? Like, and it was so, and like for me, like just being a hip hop fan that I am, and I know y'all feel like that too. that this was special, bro.
Yeah.
This
It
was
was.
bigger. This was bigger than anything. Like, because we're saying Dipset got
Versus hands
smoked.
down.
Right, we're saying Dipset got smoked, but you know what though? You're really talking about two super groups, bro.
Yeah.
Two super groups
Mm-hmm.
that New York was on their back for a long time.
Yo, man, yeah, word. Like the last thing you would have the Woo or something. You know what I'm saying? Like
You know what
that
though?
was a
That
whooping, son. Like
that might have been better, the locks to the Woo, and maybe
yo, G, we
Dipset.
couldn't even money. We couldn't even celebrate Dipset. That I understand. All the
Right.
person that I watched, I've never watched. It's never been to where one person, one group was getting beat so bad that we can't even celebrate their catalog. Catalog.
Right.
Because you know, at the end of the day, it's still a celebratory thing. We still supposed
Right.
to celebrate both factions catalog. We not even celebrate Dipset and shit like that. Like you can't even be like, yo, Dipset lost, but they held it down.
Yeah.
You like, nah, son, that was a whooping, bro. That was one time.
Yeah, it was a slaughter.
The only thing, like,
fight.
to be real though, like when I was seeing them on stage and certain joints is played, right? Like I was trying to go back to where I was when, you know, they did Hey Ma, when I first heard Hey Ma,
Right.
when I first heard, you know what I mean, certain joints. Like it still gave me that Harlem feel. Because when I think of Dipset, I think of home. You know what I mean?
Yo, G, hey, listen, man, listen.
You from Harlem, right?
He got whooped.
Nah,
Yo, G, you from Harlem?
That didn't work.
Nah,
Yo, G, you from Harlem?
We know that.
Yeah, they work.
I'm from the Bronx, but no. What I'm saying is, we understand it was a beatdown, and it was something that we knew from the beginning. A lot of us knew from the beginning.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is just that, you know what I mean? Just being from New York, though, it was still special. Regardless.
No, it was special. It was special. Listen. I'm not
Still
repeating what
special.
you're saying. It was
I mean,
it was special
because
for
I
a lot.
don't want to,
You know what I'm saying?
Hold on.
Yeah, you know what it is. I don't want to.
You never seen no versions where the stock get dropped. They stock dropped.
I don't want to sit there and just like, yo, this is becoming like, yo.
Chill. Hold on, Grove. Because
fashion session. You know what I mean? Like,
all right. Because look, we halfway through the show, and I want to get to our next topic too.
Yeah.
Because this is a one-sided conversation. Like,
it is. It's very one-sided. It's just really talking about the locks, really.
Really, yeah. But I'm gonna say this, and then I guess we can move on because I got to a point at one point within watching it that I didn't even want Dipset to perform no more. I was just like, let the Lex rock.
You're right.
It was like
that's why what I'm saying is what I'm basically saying is that you try to find like
I wasn't
that silver lining in the cloud. You know what I mean? I'm just really trying to find.
Hey, yo, Mel. G on his light skin, you know what I'm saying? Like, G on his light skin. Cause look, I'm keeping it real. Ain't none of that work, man. Ain't none of that. All that nostalgia, that ain't work.
Hey, yo,
like, you couldn't even celebrate them. It was like, come on, y'all. Y'all up there looking crazy.
Even when they gained some momentum, when they play
in the words of my man.
Hold on, G, hold on. Let Mel go.
Even when they gained some momentum, right? They played with Old Boy, and then they went with Hey Ma, right?
Yeah.
And then come Stupid. I don't think they like girls.
That messed them up.
Kiss, yo, give him a medley of all the girl joints.
He said, give him a little medley of all the. He said, nigga, we got Grammys.
Yeah.
Yo, man, they hit him with I need to ride or die chick. They hit him with that. The Mariah joint. They hit him with the Mary's joint. They hit him with the Sheep joint.
Went to the J-Lo joint.
Hold on, G. But it did again, the stars is lined up for Kiss. When they played that, she said she was in the model for a year and a half. Hands down to the head top.
Yo, but D, they even let Sheik rock Good Love.
Good love,
So I'm
dog.
gonna tell you something. But you know what though?
Oh,
How dope
man.
is that song, bro? Be
Fire.
real. That song is
Fire.
so
Nah,
fire, son.
that song
Fire.
is tough. It's just
Fire.
That
super
song
shit.
is so
That song,
son. Oh
yo, I
my
didn't even think my
gosh.
girl knew about that song. She said, yo, I remember this. This is a dope vibe.
So let me tell you
I was
something.
tight. I
That
didn't come up for
song,
that. I was
that
trying to get
song,
tickets.
so that song made me want a Chic Lucha Betty Wright album, B.
Yo, I
That song
I
is
was
crazy.
I was trying to get tickets. I swear to God, if I would have got tickets, G, I would have flew up there for one day. I know it was so crazy because my man had got one ticket and he went by himself.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
He called me when he was in the building. He was like, yo, showing me like, yo, he was like, yo, I'm here dolo. I said, yo, this is gonna be an epic night for the city, yo. And I was so
Yeah.
glad that and I'm gonna say shout out to Dip Set because they did do some sore loser shit. But to end the night on a peace note where everybody left without no squabble or no kind of friction.
No violence, no nothing.
That was super dope to see for the city,
Yeah.
especially with these two groups. So shout out to both the LOX and Dipset for just holding the city down and keeping it peaceful. Now,
Computers putin', B.
Hey, yo, I'm worried about that. I ain't gonna lie. Yo, Mel, you right. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm worried about that tour though. Like, I don't know.
yeah,
Listen, this is gonna get booed on the tour. You did? I ain't gonna lie.
they gotta let the LOX close. It's gonna be.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was looking for tickets for that too. I don't. Right now, they don't have nowhere to purchase no tickets. They just promoting it, I guess, at this point.
Oh.
But it's gonna be Dipset, LOX, and State Property.
Oh, okay.
This is ready to go before State Property.
Yeah, so yo, you ain't the first person I heard say that. They said State Property should have been up there.
They stop. Listen, when have we watched a versus where somebody stopped a lot?
Yeah, they booed.
Bro.
Yo, check this out, son. As far as verses go, it was worse than the Teddy Riley Babyface joint.
Yeah,
B.
it was.
Yeah, because the Teddy Riley Babyface was not a technical problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is just they ain't not scared.
But that was just Teddy Riley doing too much, yo.
Teddy Riley was doing too much, son. Teddy Riley was doing way too much.
Now, I want to get into this Nas album, King Disease 2. We spoke on the phone earlier. Hold on, D. Chill, hold on, D. Because let me clean something up real fast.
All right, let's talk about it.
Let me look at Grove. Let me clean something up real fast. Because I did tell y'all before I made any judgment, I wanted to hear it a few times.
All right.
Now, y'all, I don't know if y'all heard it, but when y'all tuned in, that's what I was playing.
I heard it.
Yeah.
So I've been listening to this, like I listened to it about 6-7 times. And I'm gonna say the EPMD joint is fire. The EPMD joint is
Thank
fire.
No. Don't beat around the bush. Say what you
Yeah. Mel, like I feel like before I start slapping my hands and all that, he going too slow. I feel like it's something. It's like
he trying to build it up.
It's no, but I just want to say this album is definitely should be up there again, nominated for a Grammy. From 1 to 15, bro. Like,
you know what I thought too? I think that for Nas, well, first thing, let me say this. I think whatever that connection him and Hit Boy got together,
it's classic.
like Hit Boy brings out the best in Nas. You understand what I'm saying? My apologies, fellas.
No, it's all good.
He brings out the best in Nas. You know what I'm saying? Especially nowadays. You know, like he knows what to, like. It's like when they get into the lab together, you know it's serious. You know what I'm saying? And another thing with Nas too,
it's a beautiful marriage.
Yes, but another thing, facts. Another thing with Nas too that I was always like my knock with Nas. I love, I'm a big Nas fan, huge Nas fan, was that he never seemed to have fun with the music. It's always, he's getting so serious. And I remember David Verzuz said that years ago when Nas dropped the Nigga album, whatever. And David Verzuz said that they asked David Band about it. He said, you know, I mean, I love it, I like it, but he was like, I just want Nas to get back to that New York state of mind, Nas.
Yes.
Get back to just having fun with the music. Like everything don't gotta be so, you know, this is the message I'm trying to give you, or this is sometimes you gotta know, you know what I mean? Oh, you know, you stay going back to Africa. It ain't nothing wrong with it. But that's not why we love you though.
Right.
Get back to having fun with the music. And you can see it's like, you started seeing years ago, but he see when he got another like he get another kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Father is used to
pieces he got, he's also incorporating a lot of the younger guys. You know what I mean? Like even with the first King's Eve with was a Big Sean on there, and Ferg, and 5-year Foreign, and he had a couple of younger guys on there. And this one he got
A Boogie.
A Boogie with the hood, A Boogie Sting.
Shout out Hot
And
Bridge.
Ferg on the last one too. But he just, you know, he's just really, he's going on another run.
You know what you know what though? That Lauryn Hill joint, man. Oh God.
Oh my goodness. Man.
Oh my God. Yeah, man.
Shout out to
the Queen, man.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you right now. And I go and
crush
stamp
on her when I was younger.
She was something to crush on.
Yeah, I was crushing.
Yeah.
If Lauryn Hill, if she would have dropped that second album,
yes,
I think hip hop probably would have been different. They got back on they power to the people kind of vibe.
True.
Because she was so major of an artist. Like she was getting ready to be so big. You know what I mean? She was gonna be on a whole different kind of level. You know, for her to just drop that Mr. Education Lauryn Hill. Yeah, yes, she was getting ready. Everybody she was about to introduce us to another lane in hip hop or another era. You know, but I think the personal issues and the pressure might have been too much, you know.
Maybe. But
you know,
shout out to Hit Boy for just because you could tell with the production of King Disease as well as King Disease 2, you could tell that this young boy did his homework on Nas.
Yeah.
Because a lot of other these up and coming producers probably would have tried to bring Nas into their world, but I feel like he kind of stepped into Nas' world and kind of upgraded the sound to today. Know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I don't feel like Nas could have linked up. Like Swiss said, he got an album with Nas that's better. And
I heard that too.
With what Swiss brings to the table, I don't know if he could tap into who Nas is like this young boy did. Because I don't feel Kanye tapped into Nas.
No, not at all.
Vibed out like that.
They did. The beats is too slow.
Yeah, this kid really kind of, he did his, you could tell like he's a fan. You know what I'm saying? You could tell he's a fan and he kind of stepped in and wanted Nas to get the light that he deserved. And like you were saying earlier, G, like this is like a perfect marriage. And I think Nas see it too for Nas to even put out another album with him so fast. You know what I'm saying?
Word. That joint kind of came out of nowhere. It was like,
it came out of nowhere.
They didn't promote it or nothing. It was just like, yo, we're coming on this day the week before.
He immediately went right back to the lab after that joint he dropped with Kanye.
Right.
Yeah.
And Lost Tapes 2 came out, which was fire. Then King Disease came out, and immediately he just dropped
King Disease 2.
King Disease 2.
And even the
but it's like you said, D, he just it's great to see him have fun with the music.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because the one thing that we have to say about Nas, and I don't think it's refutable, he's your favorite rapper's favorite rapper.
Favorite rapper.
You know what I mean? I think he's the one guy that gets that type, and it's like, you know, for me, one of my favorite lines, man, from him, because it was so raw, where he said, like, yo, Love commits sins and my friends still crack. It was like, you know what I mean? Because you got to realize at
Mm-hmm.
that time was so raw. And I think that was the most fun he had with the music because with that album, Illmatic was so pure.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's his first project. That album, we'll never have another album like that because that was just
No.
strictly beats and rhymes. Like you
It
know
was
how we
raw.
say that was
It was
beats.
raw.
That's beats, bars,
It
and
was
culture.
raw. It was raw.
Right? It was
Facts.
raw.
It was raw.
Then you could did the next album with fire, but
The
you could
next
start
album,
seeing
yeah,
where some of the seriousness is like excuse me, where some of the seriousness came in. Where I said before that I think Nas just started really just doing music for itself.
yeah.
He wasn't, like how Jay kind of dumbed himself down with a lot of stuff, to do certain things. Nas just started because you remember everybody like, yo, Nas getting Sun Moon and Starry, and Nas is just talking about, the planets and pyramids, and now you can see he's starting to have fun with it again, and he's
Yeah,
getting
I
back to
think
the
Nas
Nas we love.
I think Nas is lost really. I think he got lost as an artist.
Yeah,
Because you gotta remember the time period that Nas is in. You gotta also remember what came. See, I don't want to do the comparison with Jay like that, but you gotta realize.
You're gonna compare them because they always gonna be compared because
Yeah, because
right.
it makes sense to the story. You know what I'm saying?
and that says a lot about how their careers ended up. Because you know what I mean? They always
a lot of I think he kind of got lost as the artist, didn't really know what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And started forcing the music.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said he just got lost. Like, okay, especially at that time, you gotta remember this was right before the East Coast West Coast thing. Right in the middle of the East Coast West Coast thing. You know what I'm saying? Then, even though his second album, it was great, it was a dope album, a fire album.
Yeah.
But it was more commercial than Illmatic was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, as dope as it was, you had a lot of people that didn't accept that from him.
Yeah.
So then he tried to, with like I Am and Nostradamus, he tried to do something else. And it really was like, where you going with this? It don't sound like you. It sounds like you kind of lost in the music. Like you don't really know what to do.
That's a good analysis.
And then when all respect, when he got his mom passed away, got into the battle with Jay, they gave him some more incentive. They gave him direction. You know what I'm saying? It gave him it put that fire up on him. Because now it's like, yo, at the time, the general consensus was, yo, it's over now. Right.
Because one thing we got to remember is this, too. When Big died, Nas was really supposed to be the king of New York.
He was.
Nas was supposed to be the king of New York. It really wasn't Jay-Z.
But it was a bad time for hip-hop, period. That was a bad time for hip-hop, period. And see, at that time, you gotta realize, Jay wasn't a star yet.
No.
He wasn't a star at that time. And let's get, I don't want to, because I'm going to throw something else out there, and I'm going to tip you hearts up when I say this, but
say it.
You got to remember
That's
something
what we here to say.
Say it.
That you doing us an injustice, not saying
look at the history.
Yeah, I know
Even
where
with
you're going
Jay.
with this. I know where you're going with this.
Dog, I don't know. DMX slowed Jay's run down.
Yeah.
If you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
DMX slowed that run down himself. You understand what I'm saying to you? Because it was first album. Damn, I mean, come on, y'all. Reasonable Doubt.
Reasonable Doubt.
Right? Was a success in the street. Right? Volume 1 really wasn't hitting like that.
That did hit.
Wasn't hitting right there. He had to come back around, double back, do The Streets Is Watching, Volume 2. You know what I mean? Then that drop. And you got to remember, this time, DMX is in play. He's changing the whole game up. Because see, when everybody's trying to follow Diddy as Jay as well, hence Volume 1, you hear X, but take it back to the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And went on a run. Remember that?
A crazy.
And went on a run. You know, first artist, 2 albums, 1 year, both multi-platinum.
Ones. Yeah.
And brought a whole culture with it. Again, talking about movements, you know? But just getting back to the Nas and the Nas and Jay thing, you know what I'm saying? I think that battle, it gave Nas a focus.
It did.
And it put Nas under pressure. Because you gotta realize something now, you gotta MC Shan and KRS-One. If Nas takes an L, and Queensbridge known for losing, dog. They can't win, dude. They can't win. They go on a run. It's over. They can't, you know what I mean? It's like they can't get over the hump. You know? So to see where Nas at today, finally getting this just due, finally a younger generation being able to appreciate what he brings to the table because he's never been a pop act. He never did popular music.
No.
Never. He never was really, he tried it, but it didn't work. But that was never really where his heart was. And to see it now, Grammy Award winning, and still working with Hit Boy
while doing it.
That's what I'm trying to say, man. He's in a good space. You see his business moves.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's why it's a whole conglomerate of things. You know? And you see Jay Vigil, you see the space Jay's in.
Yeah.
You know, when he dropped 444, you know what that did? It's like, oh, this nigga sound different. He in a different type of lane right now. He talking a different type of language now. You know, so we see that. And I never did have to take the mic like that, but I love to see how I asked G Money this question like yesterday. We always talk about how hip hop is a young man's game, right? And we don't never give the light to when you always age out of hip hop.
Yeah, only genre of music you do that.
And all these older guys dropping albums. Which one of them dropped a whack project?
None.
None of them dropped a whack project.
None of them.
They all been Don Blaze.
You know what I want to say real quick? It's to stay on what you just said, but not to go off the thing with Nas though. But shout out DJ K Slade, man. Because that rolling 120 deep, regardless what you say about the song, when you say it's too long, whatever you say, I salute K Slade, man, because you put Melly Mel on a song. You put Ice-T on a song. You put MC Search on a song. You put Coke Rock on a song. The first MC. Like, you have to understand that you don't see the big picture in this. That there's no hip-hop already. We gave hip-hop an age limit.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? That's what we did. And when I see dudes like, Coke Rock can still do it. You know what I mean? Like, that's a beautiful thing because now you're bringing them into an era where these kids don't know. Now you get a history lesson.
These are the pioneers.
Preach.
Exactly.
Preach.
Because when you look at a lot of these young cats, right? When you look at a lot of these young cats that's in rock or in those type, I've never heard a young guitarist speak bad about Jerry Garcia. You understand what I'm saying? You've never seen it. Only in hip hop do we do that.
That's because we got that. Because hip hop is like the only genre of music where you got that battle component to it.
Right. Yeah.
You got that battling, that me versus you component to it. You know what I'm saying?
And it's a lot of hate. And it's a lot of hate with it too, though, D.
No doubt. It definitely is. You know what I'm saying? But you got that battle component,
right?
Wherein even we get on the track together. I'm gonna have the hottest verse.
Right.
This is also one of the things that make hip hop a beautiful thing because it's a conversation that never ends.
Right.
Because you go album to album, song to song, verse to verse. It's always competition on every level. So there's always a conversation. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, it's always been looked upon as a young man's game. We've always gave it that young man's thing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's for the younger guys because of, I guess sometimes it's the content. You talking about the
Yeah.
streets. You don't really want to hear a 50-year-old dude talk about selling drugs and busting his guns. They just don't add up. Like, come on, you done aged out, man. You want to be retired, man. You know what I mean? From the street. Man, what you talking about? It don't sound right. And another thing that we always do too, hip hop fans is mad fickle. Mad fickle. We mad fickle. Like, we like this today, but we don't like this tomorrow. You know what I mean? We the only, listen, look at Ja Rule. We love Ja Rule.
I still do.
Ja Rule. Right? I'm talking about the general.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe not us personally, you know what I mean? We love Ja Rule. So 50 Cent come in. He goes at Ja Rule. They go at each other. We can't stand Ja Rule no more.
It's a fact.
Ja Rule had the game on lock about 2.5, 3 years.
Let me ask this though. Mel, what was you about to say about that song though?
What song?
The EPMD song. What was you about to say about that?
Oh, Mel about to. Yeah,
Because you know what I'm waiting to hear, right?
Yeah, chill with the hate, Mel. Go ahead. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
You know what I'm waiting to hear?
The beat is dope. They rhyming.
Yes.
Right. Dude was a little better than I was giving him credit for.
Who's dude?
Man, you can't even say
dude?
Hey.
Who's dude, man? Who's dude?
Come on, man.
Who's dude?
Right for this, yo.
Eminem, yo.
Yo, Mel can't even say his name, kid.
He went off though, right?
It was better than what I was giving it credit for earlier.
Yeah, listen to it with the wrong ear, man.
What he was saying actually went along with the song.
Exactly.
It wasn't what he normally do. Where he just no, that's nonsense he be doing. It wasn't the normal. He was actually on point with this one.
Yeah.
Although I probably would have liked the song more if he wasn't on it. I feel it like
that's that hate.
Yo, Mel, dog, come on, man. Just give us flowers, dog. You ain't gotta. What, man?
I'm giving you what it was, D. Like this one, I'm not with it. Like
I might just like Nas at every sermon.
But like I did tell y'all, I'm biased.
Okay.
That's something I just can't shake with dude. Like I'm not a big fan. Like and what does it for me for homie is that the public is what does it for me. They praise him so high that maybe my expectations is higher than what they should be. You know what I'm saying? Like they got him as supposedly the greatest or one of the greatest. So like I know who I got in my greatest list. So I'm looking to hear something on that type of platform, like, and
well, you gotta understand too.
I'm not moved.
You gotta understand. You know what though? I can understand because you know what? I may have Rakim on my greatest list, right?
Mm-hmm.
And somebody from a younger generation may not be moved. Like I got like to me, the greatest to me is Big. That's the greatest to me. You know what I mean? But if I say Big is the greatest, I guarantee you, I'm gonna get 10 people that's gonna say Tupac is.
I always felt like that was a bad comparison as far as like.
No, I'm just
yeah,
saying,
me too. They so different as artists, man. But they
hold on. But hold on, and it's not just that. You may have a kid that came up in the 2000s, right?
Mm-hmm.
The greatest to him may be Wayne. And with the way hip hop has conformed, with the way hip hop has grown, because you got to remember when we first started this, it was just in the city.
Right.
Then for the city, it went to another borough.
Yeah, it reached out.
You know what I mean? Then it went to other states. So now that it's in other states, you have to realize it doesn't touch, you know what I mean? It doesn't touch Omaha, Nebraska. It doesn't touch Iowa.
It's worldwide.
So those young white kids out there are saying that Eminem is the greatest because you have to realize that's who they can relate to.
That's who they relate to. Yeah.
They can't relate. They can't relate to to Big. They can't relate to Nas saying, love committed sins and my friends sell crack. They can't relate to that.
Preach. That's facts.
But they can relate to Eminem. So to Eminem, he's the greatest. Just like now, I can't relate to these young cats that say Drake is the greatest. But to them, that's just like us. MJ the greatest to us. But to these kids, they gonna say LeBron James.
But you know what, 2G? Let me tell you something too, though, bro. A lot of it is cats gotta live some more life.
That's what it is.
I can't tell you how many artists I couldn't understand when I was younger until I had more experience with living, you know what I mean? In life. And then I started to, oh yeah. Like you said at one time, he was like, how you was with E40.
Right.
You say, you know what, I ain't gonna lie, he ain't as bad as I thought he was. You know what I mean? You grew up a little bit. You started to understand a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? When if you from New York and you hard body on your New York stuff, then you go move down south for about a good 2, 3, 4 years. Then you like, you know what? Because you understand it more.
You understand more.
Like, yo, that's kind of hot right there. Or Tip kind of hot, or Luda kind of hot, or UGK ain't that bad. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know what I mean? You lived a little bit, and you're like, I'm gonna keep it real. Like, when you in the streets running wild, and all them I need a girl tracks and I love you tracks, you're like, yeah, it is what it is. You fall in love though, and you hear them tracks hit a little bit different. You be like, you talk what I'm feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nothing. And this song is 20 years old.
Yeah.
Yo, I didn't understand I need love until I needed love.
Until you needed love. But yo, real quick, fellas. Mel, how much more time we got?
We could do like 5 to 10 more minutes.
Oh, if y'all don't mind, I want to do something real quick with y'all.
Do your thing.
I want us to, because I don't want us to be popping up out of nowhere with it. You know what I'm saying? What is the man cave and why are we doing this? For the people.
So what you want? Everybody.
Our platform together. Mm-hmm. The man cave. You know what I'm saying?
I think we're not understood enough as men. Just to be real. Like, I think it's a lot of stuff that, especially like I put it in the sense as like a father.
Yes, sir.
You get asked for something.
Yes, sir.
It's expected for you to do it regardless.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's expected, like you have to do it. You have to make a way.
Yes, sir.
Out of no way.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? And there's times that we don't get that for us. So I think this is something that that we had to come together just to talk about us as men, what we go through.
Right.
Because people don't realize something. When you look at stuff like, you just take your major holidays, right? Christmas is for children. Thanksgiving is for the family. Valentine's Day is for women. We all know how big Mother's Day is. What do we as men really have? Besides Father's Day, where you get a tie, some socks, and maybe a barbecue.
Happy Father's Day, Dad.
Happy Father's Day. Exactly. And your birthday. You don't really get it. So I think as men and stuff,
if they remember your birthday.
If they remember your birthday. So I think as men, people don't realize we fight depression. You know what I mean? There's things that we fight that we just can't, you know what I mean? We just can't express to the world because now we're afraid of looking weak.
Yes, and we get, because see, a lot of things too, Gina, and I'm glad you said that. A lot of times they look at us, you marry your wives and your kids, they always look at you like you know all the answers to every question. And you really don't know. Sometimes you really don't know the answer to every question. Sometimes you're really confused. Sometimes you don't know what to do. You know what I mean? But they always assume that you know because you're the man. And they assume that you know. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And in our community where we from, we don't do that whole, depression thing and being in touch with your emotions and all that. That's like a foreign language to us. We're not used to that.
We can't afford.
You know what I'm saying?
Get in that mode.
Can't afford it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like you said, G, a lot of times we need that space too to be able to talk about, what we go through, even with like, like sometimes driving in your car getting pulled over by the police.
Right.
It's a different situation for a black man than as a white man. No disrespect. But we just talk about the way society is. And then we get reactive and they actually don't know why we reacting like this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, to keep it real, what about the dude who's scared to leave his crib because all the nonsense going on his block? You know what I'm saying? We talk about, no disrespect. We talk about the white man, but I've always felt like my biggest threat was the man that looked like me.
Ooh, talk about it.
We don't ever talk about that.
Talk about
right.
it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And the reason why I wanted to get into this, briefly, was because I wanted people to know where we trying to, like, what the man cave really is. And, like, it's deeper than rap.
It's a therapy session.
Sure.
It's a therapy session.
It's a therapy
session.
It's a therapy session.
Therapy session.
It's a way to talk and express, what you go through day to day on your job. I got it. Yes, sir. I'll do that. I'll take care of that. I'll get that done for okay, you in your life.
Right.
What you doing to take care of your family?
Right.
Let's talk about the things that the kids don't see, because the kids only see a finished product.
Yeah.
All the things that the kids know, they just know that they got a roof over their head. They know they got a bed to sleep on. They know they got a pillow to lay their head on. They know they got food in the fridge. They know they got heat when it's cold. They know they got AC when it's hot.
That's a fact.
But they don't know what it takes to get that, to keep it.
All them days you don't want to get up and you gotta get up.
Yeah, why dad only slept for 2-3 hours and he going back to work?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I understand that part.
I don't
want to get on into another show here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
But I just wanted us to get into, briefly just get a synopsis on what the man cave is and why we doing what we're doing.
Go ahead.
Because,
go ahead.
And I just want to
say your piece and then
I kind of want to
just wrap out. And...
Yeah, like I just kind of want to just build off what you said. Like, shout out to my pastor, Selena Brown. Her and I had a discussion about self-control, and it goes to what Mel just said about that getting up. You know what I mean? Like, you have that self-control every day that you're going to get up.
No matter what.
Go to work and do what you have to do because I have to, like, this is the sacrifice I have to make for my family. And I think that's the biggest thing with the man cave is that you talk about, like, the sacrifices, you know what I mean, that you give to your children. You know what I mean? Whether you're a father to a son, a daughter, your stepfather, whatever it is, like these are the things that we have to do that really go untalked about. You understand what I'm saying? Like when you look at a lot of the memes on social media, a lot of it is geared towards women and for women. But a lot of times we don't think, men get hurt too.
Yeah, like they do women to the Me Too movement. Yo, me too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? What you talking about? Me too.
Yeah, we get hurt too.
So before we get out of here, I just want to say,
appreciate y'all for that too.
I appreciate y'all. Like we came together as a unit, and we put this together in a short time.
Yes, we did.
And like this is real therapy, and I don't want nobody listening or watching to get confused from this first episode because we lovers of hip hop. We come from hip hop. Our culture is hip hop, but when we come on here, we're going to talk about all different type of scenarios, all different type of situations. And as females tuning in, maybe y'all can get a better understanding of just us as men.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, this is kind of a place where we could just speak from a man's point of view without the talk back, and you get different perspectives. We 3 different men. We live 3 different type of lives. We all family men, but we live 3 different type of lives. So you get different perspectives on things, just as well as we as a group get different perspectives from each other.
Yes,
and
can I just say one more thing, and I'm gonna be done. Can I say one more thing, and I'm gonna be done? I gotta give a shout out to my brother Mel, and M3L. Y'all check out the podcast. But I have to say this real quick, and it's as a man. I'm on the phone with him and we talking about this. But as we're on the phone talking, I'm hearing him in the background and he's tutoring his daughter.
That's a fact.
And he's telling her, no, that has to be done like this. If you don't do it right, then you're going to have to do it over because it's not me. It's sloppy. And he doesn't know because this is my brother for real. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we from the same hood or whatever.
That's a whole fact.
And that made me feel good as a man that my younger brother, who's a father now, what he's doing. So I had to salute him for that.
I appreciate
you know what I mean? My thing is this, that the praise behind your back has to be just as much as the praise to your face.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? So with you and D Brown, I give y'all flowers now, man. Like I'm not gonna do this for a week till you know what I mean, till y'all going. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna give you flowers while you're dead, but I'm gonna give you soup while you sick. You know what I mean? So salute to both of y'all.
I appreciate you. So yo,
Word.
That's our show for the week. From G Money, D Brown, M3L. Love is love. See y'all next week.